here in the NG Stadium that are thinking, what is camp drafting? Well, camp drafting started on the back of a horse with our drovers over 100 years ago. They were carting around the countryside, taking cattle down the long paddock. And as they went along 12, 14, 16 hours in the saddle, they may have got a little bit bored. And as a true Aussie would be, they started to compete. Well, fast forward to 2025 and you have Australia's own sport, a special sport that combines horse, human, and put into the mix a steer that has never set foot in a camp draft arena before. They come in here tonight and they'll step into the camp and they'll come out and they'll cut a beast out from the rest of the mob. They'll bring that beast up to the front of the camp and they'll hold it here in front. They'll call for the gate when they're ready, and there's a maximum of 26 score points that they can pick up here in the camp. When they're ready, they'll set foot with their horse, their steer, and themselves, and they'll come out here into the NG Stadium. They're going to try and navigate this steer, and they're going to come around and they're going to bring this steer on a right-hand rein around this first peg. They've got to get their horse, their steer, and themselves around here. When they're ready, they'll come back across. They'll take that steer and they'll go as quick as they can, and we'll just sneak in front of them as they walk these cattle in ever so quietly. Now they've got to do what our chief commentator will call the crossover. They've got to change direction. They've now got to pick up their left-hand canter lead, which sounds so simple, but when you've got a beast here with you and a cow and a rider and everyone with their one dream, now you've got to take it away from the in-gate, from where it's been out with its mates. And there's two pegs over here in front of the Mountain Angus stand. You've got to turn both horse and rider and their steer, and you've got to cross between these two pegs. If you can do that, you'll pick up 70 points, 4 points I should say for the course. 30 points in total when you add that to the cutout. 70 points for the horsemanship to give you a score out of 100. We have 15 of Australia's best competitors competing here tonight. It's the final night, and it gives us a great pleasure to welcome from the Ellerston Pastoral Company many of the hard-working people up there in the Barrington Tops down here to the NG Stadium tonight. It wouldn't be a camp draft without our wonderful voice of camp drafting, a man who's been part of this event for longer than Jake and I have been alive. He is, of course, the legend, the man, the myth, the one and only Jim Callanan. Jimmy Callanan, welcome to NG Stadium.
Okay, good evening, Tim. Good evening, Jake. Yes, and we come down to the business end of the series for 2025.
Jimmy, it's been a wonderful competition. Boy, oh boy, we've seen some amazing drafts. Wyatt Young having won 2 of them. One of your very good friends, Warrick Lawrence, picking up another. Josh Barnett and Luke Bennett. Each of those gentlemen have had a win. We've seen some phenomenal scores, and tonight we're in for a treat again.
There's no doubt about that, Tim. It's been a very close competition. Like you made there earlier, the very, very best of the competitors, the very, very best of the Australian stock horses at the King of the One-Horse Sports Camp Drafting. And we'll see in a very short time who's going to be the champion for 2025.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you could please be all upstanding. Gentlemen, if you could please remove your hats. And I invite forward to the microphone with her wonderful voice to perform the Australian National Anthem, Miss Emma Irene. The arena is yours.
let us all combine to advance Australia fair. Enjoy Boston's and let us sing advance Australia fair.
Well, put your hands together for her, folks. That's Miss Emma Irene performing the anthem here tonight. What a great voice. Outstanding. Well, this is it. The stage is set. The lights are on. It's always the best action each and every year at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. And as Tim said, the man that will describe all the action, this is his 24th year calling the World Championship Campdraft, Jim Callanan.
Okay, thank you very much, Jake. Well, the next, say, 40, 45 minutes, we're going to announce the winner of the World Championship Campdraft, brought to you at the compliments of Tyrrell's. Who's it going to be for 2025? And we welcome to you all at home, watching via live stream. Sit back and enjoy and sip on your Tyrrells for the final of the World Championship Campdraft. So, it won't be too long and we'll go straight into action. But there's been a great competition over the previous 5 evenings. And we move into round number 6. Well, Jake, we've seen some magnificent runs over the previous evenings.
We certainly have, Jim. We've been up there in the 90s on many occasions. And no doubt we'll be back up there again this evening with this wonderful lineup of cattle once again, Jim. The Packer family, Ellerston, the team are down here tonight to watch this final.
That's right, Jake. Many thanks to Mrs. Packer and Graddle and Scott Mitchell and all the team up there. And to the staff that are here sitting in the stands tonight. So many, many thanks for another great lot of cattle for the World Championship Campdraft here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. So our first competitor, Dean Turner from Dungog. His second year here at the Sydney Royal Campdrafting, the property manager. He's got the nod from our Campdraft judges, Michael Hayes and Brent Smythe. So the stage is set. It's a pity when you see competitors and horses like this that there can only be one winner. So Dean says, I'm pretty sure this is the one. Dean Turner and Ted. They come right up the face of the camp. This is out of a possible score of 26 points. It's a right-hand course this evening in the final round. They step out now into the NG Stadium and things are looking pretty good. And is he going to float on? No, he's just going to cut in a little bit short. The pole Hereford steer and Dean Turner and Ted, they will get that second attempt. They float around there now. Just a little bit of a trip there. Comes around now, but he's going to cut back inside it. And there goes the Australian stock whips there. And that will be a cutout score there only for Dean Turner riding Ted.
He'll still get a score. We'll come back to you, Jim, for that score. Rider number 2 here in the final round this evening from Millers Forest here in New South Wales, Gerald O'Brien. Rides O'Brien's Gigolette. He's a professional camp draft rider and a breaker and trainer. He's a good all-round horseman. As we welcome into the arena our turn-back team, father and son, Peter and Brendan Kelly from Upper Horton. Back to you, Jim.
Okay, the cutout score there now for Dean Turner and Ted of 21 points. 21 points there for Ted, ridden by Dean Turner. So, and the pole Hereford steer says, gee, I like this out here in the NG Stadium. He says, I'll just look down the gateway.
Well, just while we get this steer out of here, it's wonderful to have Scott Mitchell here from Ellerston Pastoral Country. Scott, gee, it's good to have you here. It's good to see some of the team down here as well.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. It's great to be here. We've got quite a few of the crowd from the office here tonight and from up home. And, yeah, look, we love supporting the show. 22nd year, I think, here at Olympic Park.
It is certainly 22nd year, mate. That steer's got out, so you get out lightly as well. But we do thank Ellerston Pastoral Company, to all the team that are here, our special guests, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, they do a wonderful job, and thank you to Ellerston. We have been wonderfully blessed with beautiful cattle here at this year's draft.
So Gerald O'Brien now with O'Brien's Gigolette, the horse trainer from Millers Forest, right up the face of the camp. You can nearly guess what's running through these competitors' head here in the final. They go around the first peg here now. Things are looking pretty good for Gigolette and round. He's got himself a fast one. Now, can he turn it around? Can he turn it around? Yes, he can. He's got 2 points now for the first peg. He'd do the changeover. Oh, and can they get it again? Gerald O'Brien, O'Brien's Gigolette around the second peg. He says, I'll just sit off. Gigolette says, just leave the footwork to me for a moment, Gerald. Now do the changeover. He said, let's come with me now. Finger touch control. Can they do it? Can they do it? It could be Champagne Campdrafting in the final night. It's looking good. It's looking good. Yes. Well, just ran on through that gate there like a good wine of Tyrrell's running out of the neck of the bottle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gerald O'Brien from just up here, just north of Sydney, mate. So good to see you here. Well done.
Thank you.
How's it good to get a gate on the final night?
Pretty better. It's better than my first couple of nights anyway.
Very tight on that second peg. You were just throwing everything at it. You never took your eye off the steer. That's what it's about, sticking on the job.
Yes, that's for sure. And they're nice Hereford cattle from Ellerston, so worth looking at.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Gerald O'Brien.
Okay, the scores come through now for O'Brien's Gigolette, ridden by Gerald O'Brien, of 22.5 for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 88 points. 88 points there for O'Brien's Gigolette, ridden by Gerald O'Brien. So number 3 now, Matthew Holtz with Hazelwood Country Blues. Long-time competitor in the camp draft industry and the Australian Stock Horse Society, the horse trainer from Jindera. Not too much he hasn't won over many years. Drew number 3 in the final round. Right up the face of the camp they come. And Hazelwood Country Blues does the 2, the 3, and now the 4th, and now he calls for the gate and he steps out onto the dance floor now. Matthew Holtz with Hazelwood Country Blues, and things are looking pretty good as they float around the first peg. Now Country Blues, they'll be singing now. They come around the first peg, they get 2 out of 4 for the course. They do the changeover, and look here, right around. This is camp drafting at its best. We might see something special here. Boys and girls, mums and dads, you all still start to ride with him. Fiona's riding with him. Can they do it? Can they do it? Well, we'll leave that one in the hands of our judges.
Well, we'll come back and get a score there for Matt Holtz and Hazelwood Country Blues. Now, Jim moving to the camp, the man of the moment. This will be Troy Palmer riding Blue Tunes. It's not all over till this guy takes his run at the championship here this evening. Back to you with that previous competitor's score.
Okay, the score's through now for Hazelwood Country Blues, ridden by Matthew Holtz, of 21.5 points for cutout. 21.5 for cutout for Hazelwood Country Blues and Matthew Holtz. So Troy Palmer with Blue Tunes, and he'll be looking to sing the right tune here in the final round. The horse trainer from Coolah won this draft a few years ago. Troy Palmer with Blue Tunes. Now Fiona and the kids will be riding with him. They step out onto the Indigi Stadium store. Now they come around, they float around the peg. Now, how's he going now? He's looking pretty good. Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes, they do the changeover. Look here, Blue Tunes says, leave the footwork to me. You just come with me, Troy, and throw me a little bit more rain. Comes around. Give him a round of applause there, ladies and gentlemen. The pressure was certainly on. You can tell that it's final time here for the World Championship Campdraft.
Gee, the pressure is on, Jim, that's for sure. Tim McCarthy moves into the camp now from Kempsey here on the mid-north coast here in New South Wales. Second generation camp drafting competitor. Rides a little horse called Sterling, owned by Alan Sinclair. This man, he's been competing since he was 9 years of age, Jim. He comes in with a lot of experience. Back to you with a score.
Okay, the score for Blue Tunes and Troy Palmer of 23 points for cutout. 23 points there for Blue Tunes, ridden by Troy Palmer.
Well, we're sitting down here with our current leader in the competition, Gerald O'Brien. These Hereford cattle, they are probably the pick that we've had all week, but they're certainly making our drafters work tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are. They are keeping us on our game, that's for sure.
The guys go in there, they walk through them. What are you looking for?
Something that moves off in nice and calmly, doesn't get too excited, doesn't bury back in the herd.
All right, back to you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, Tim McCarthy now with Sterling, the grazier from Kempsey on the mid-north coast. Calls for the gate. He steps out now into the NG Stadium dance floor and around the first peg they make their way, and he's got a nice, very kind running beast, but will he run on? He says, yes, I'll come around for you. Comes around now. Now, Tim McCarthy and Sterling says, now comes around. He says, come on, just come up with me a little bit closer. He says, I'll do the changeover for you. Now, Sterling and Tim McCarthy. Oh, nice close second peg. They're looking to get the 3 out of 4 for the course. And the pole Hereford steer here. He comes over here towards us and he says, no, I don't want to go there. I'll stick with Sterling and Tim McCarthy. They're giving me a good run out here. Oh, boys and girls, mums and dads, can they do it? Can they do it? Tim's playing it safe. It looks pretty good. Give him a round of applause, but we'll leave that one there. We'll see whether they beat the time whistle.
Oh, regardless of whether he got the course done in the 45 seconds, we're going to come out and chat to him. Tim McCarthy, so good to have you here at Sydney Royal. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, Tim. It's been a great week down here, and yeah, it's great to chase these good Ellerston cattle. And thank you to Ellerston and all the crew. It's yeah, been a tremendous week.
Hey, Sydney, put your hands together for Tim McCarthy.
Okay, the scores come through now for Sterling, ridden by Tim McCarthy, of 21 for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 79.5. 79.5 points there for Sterling, ridden by Tim McCarthy. We go with Josh Barnett now, with Simply Irreductible, the workshop supervisor, for all the way from Singleton in the Hunter Valley. Comes across, goes back the other way. Now the pole Hereford steer sees the gates open. They step out now into the big arena here, and it just cuts a little bit short, and he will go out with a cutout score only. Therefore, Simply Irreductible and Josh Barnett.
Well, we'll come back with a cutout score there for Josh Barnett and Simply Irreductible as young Jack Cable moves into the camp now, folks, riding Yarrawa Gunnass. A top young rider. He's been competing in camp drafting events for 16 years. His father, Nigel's a past winner of this World Championship Camp Draft. A man you would have called on many occasions, Jim. It's back down to you for a cutout score.
Okay, the score there now for Simply Irreductible, ridden by Josh Barnett, of 15.5 points. 15.5 points for Yarrawa Gunnass, ridden by Jack Cable. So we go now to Jack Cable from Tarana, the property manager. His first year here at the Sydney Royal Camp Drafting. Makes his selection. Yarrawa Gunnass. Comes right up the face of the camp, and he's going for the big points as well. He calls for the gate here now. Jack Cable, number 7 in the final round. of the World Championship Campdraft, and he's got himself a nice running pole Hereford steer. Around the first peg, they get 2 out of 4 for the course. Now he tries to set things up pretty good, and is looking pretty good too. As Yarrawar Guness now and Jack Cable, they do the crossover. They get 3 out of 4 for the course. Can they do it? Can they do it? Let's warm up those hands. Boys and girls, mums and dads, can they line it up? Can they line things up? It's looking pretty good. Oh.
Oh, he didn't quite get there, but a second generation competing here. We watched his father, Nigel Cable, compete at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He won this competition 3 times. Your first time here, Jack, how's it feel to follow in Dad's footsteps?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's an honour to be here, and yeah, I'm glad, very grateful to come down here.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Jack Cable.
Okay, the scores come through now for Yarrawar Guness, ridden by Jack Cable, of 22 points for cutout, 57.5 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 82.5 points. 82.5 points there for Yarrawar Guness, ridden by Jack Cable. We go to number 8, Rodney McKennon, from up in the New England, the Upper Horton, the Horton Valley, with Beards IMAX. So Rodney McKennon calls for the gate here now with Beards IMAX, and they step their way out now onto the dance floor here in the NG Stadium, and gets a very fast one and straight across the arena. So there'll be a cutout score there only for Beards IMAX and Rodney McKennon.
We'll come back for that cutout score there, Jim. We're going to move to a man that placed here last night. I think he was 3rd in the competition, and boy, he's been excited to be here. He's had a great week at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. One of the real larrikins, Brett Welsh from Beaudesert in Queensland, riding All Stars Halo. Back down to you, Jim.
Okay, the scores come through now for Beards IMAX and Rodney McKennon of 21 points. 21 points there for Beards IMAX, ridden by Rodney McKennon. Well, you're exactly right, Jake. Brett Welsh, he's been excited about once he got the news that he'd been selected to come here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show for the campdrafting competition with All Stars Halo, and he's enjoyed every minute of every day down here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Well, just while we get our pickup men to take those steers out, Rodney McKinnon, mate, not the night you were hoping for, but it's wonderful to be here at the NG Stadium. The spirit of competition and the spirit of mateship between you campdrafters is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, it didn't quite go the way we wanted, but anyway, that's campdrafting, and still a credit to the cattle donors. Yeah, it's a big thing to donate this many cattle for campdraft and all the sponsors, and yeah, thanks Sydney.
Thank you very much, Rodney McKinnon, and thank you to our Ellerston Pastoral Company, and of course Tyrrell's Wine, not to be forgotten. Wranglers, of course, coming up from tomorrow night. We will go rodeoing with the Federation Challenge. Dennis Holsted's in town. Jake Smith, it's not to be missed. Make sure you're here tomorrow night.
Okay, so we go over the border into Queensland. This is Brett Welsh with All Stars Halo. And All Stars Halo says, come on, let's try and put this one around again, Brett. They step out now onto the dance floor here in the NG Stadium. He's got himself another fast one. All Stars Halo and Brett Welsh, and he's going to float around the first peg now. Can they cover things around? They certainly can. They come right around, looking to get that 2 points. They've got to do the crossover. He's been picking the real fast ones, and All Stars Halo around the second. Campdrafting at its best. Champagne campdrafting here now. The glass is nearly overflowing, but can they overflow it with a big glass of Tyrrells? Come on, boys and girls. Oh, Mel, Summer and Darcy, they're at home watching over there with Nana and Pop. Can they do it? Can they do it? Can they do it? All Stars Halo, Brett Welsh. Can they do it? There goes the whistle. But give you a round of applause there. Brett Welsh from Beaudesert.
I love a crowd when you appreciate top horsemanship. He tried to thread the needle. He did everything that he could to try and get there. From Queensland, Brett Welsh. Mate, congratulations on a great first Sydney Royal Easter show.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, hope this isn't where it finishes. Yeah, love to come back and keep up on.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, give a big round of applause, Brett Welsh.
Okay, the scores come through for All Stars Halo, ridden by Brett Welsh of 21.5 for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the cause, a total of 80 points. 80 points for All Stars Halo and Brett Welsh. Now we pick up with Luke Bennett on Malungra's Moonbeam from Dundee via Glen Ennis, and around the first peg they come. Who's it going to be? Higher for 2025 and Malungra's Moonbeam. Oh, look here, around the second peg they come. Oh, Campdrafting. This is Champagne Campdrafting here. Malungra's Moonbeam, Luke Bennett. Boys and girls, mums and dads, you better get excited. Can they do it? Can they do it? Oh, the wine is starting to run out of the bottle. Oh, what a run. Malungra's Moonbeam and Luke Bennett. Sandy and Harper and Ella, they've nearly got out of their seat and come into the ring.
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the man from up there at Glen Innes rides the family horse, Luke Bennett. What a run, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, thank you.
You're a man of few words, you let your horse do the talking, but just tell us, to get that gate, to hear the crowd appreciate, it must give you a special feeling.
Yeah, it makes your hair stand up. No, it's great.
Well, he's quiet by nature. Hey, let's reciprocate with a big round of applause for Luke Bennett.
Okay, the scores come through now for Malungra's Moonbeam, ridden by Luke Bennett of 23 for cutout, 65 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 92 points. 92 points for Malungra's Moonbeam, ridden by Luke Bennett. Well, we go to number 11 now. This is Kyra O'Brien, our only lady competitor in 2025, and what a great lady competitor. She has been over many years from Miller's Forest. This is the better half of husband Gerald. Kyra O'Brien with O'Brien's and Wyatt. They step out now. They line things up around the first peg. And O'Brien's Wyatt and Kyra O'Brien. Boys and girls, mums and dads, let's start to ride with Kyra. The only lady competitor, and she's a great lady competitor too, she is. They float down around. Can they do it? Can they do it? Look here. And Wyatt here now. Come on, boys and girls, more noise for Kyra. Let's get behind her. Come on, Kyra. Come on, Kyra. Come on, Wyatt. Yes, they can do it. They can do it with your help, boys and girls, mums and dads. Come on, Kyra. Come on, Kyra. Line it up. Yeah! But give her a round of applause there. Our great lady competitor, Kyra O'Brien with O'Brien's and Wyatt.
Well, as our only female competitor, she'll get the 3 out of 4 for the course, just cutting inside that final peg. Kyra O'Brien, congratulations. You have done the ladies proud this week.
Thanks, Tim.
You've got your husband, your brother, they're all telling you, helping you pick cattle, but you've got friends on the sideline. It really is a great family sport.
It really is, yep. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, Sydney, let's give her a big round of applause. Kyra O'Brien.
Okay, the scores come through now for O'Brien's Wyatt, ridden by Kyra O'Brien of 22 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 83 points. 83 points there for Kyra O'Brien, riding O'Brien's and Wyatt. Well, we go to number 12 in the draw in the final round, Tony Mortimer from Saltash. He's a plant operator. Horses and camp drafting are his hobbies, and he's made a great hobby out of it. So Tony Mortimer with Trigger. He's about to make his selection. Works his way up the face of the camp. And Trigger. Tony Mortimer. They step out now. The gates swing wide. They're out into the NG Stadium. Comes around now. He says, I'll just get out a little bit wide and I'll try and play it a little bit safe. And Trigger says, well, just sit back a little bit, Tony. Can they float it around? Yes, they do. It's looking pretty good. They come around now. They get 2 out of 4 for the course. He feeds him a bit more rain. Now he's going to go for try and tighten things right up. Now Tony Mortimer and Trigger. Trigger says, just sit a little bit here at the moment. Now they get looking to get the 3. They got the 3 out of 4 now. Boys and girls, mums and dads, Kim and the kids at home watching via live stream. Come on, Tony with Trigger. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Another champagne with a dash of Tyrrells in the glass.
Oh, Trigger knows his job. He helps our pickup riders to return that steer back down the back where he'll head to Ellerston. Hey, Tone, congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
It was a tough start to the week. That horse had a little overstep. You went home, you brought Trigger down here for the second night. It's been wonderful to see this horse get better and better. He's learned from this week.
Yeah, mate, he didn't get much working up into this. Probably sitting in the paddock for a couple of months, but it was good to have him so I can call on him when I need him.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Tony Mortimer as we go back to Jimmy for a score.
Okay, the scores come through now for Trigger and Tony Mortimer. 21 for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, of total of 86.5 points. 86.5 points for Trigger, ridden by Tony Mortimer. Wyatt Young now, number 13. With this great stallion, Metallic Storm. Looking at the very best of our horses and competitors, as Tim made mention there earlier, the best of the best. They're just concentrating. He says, which one's it going to be? He makes his selection. Up the face of the camp they come. This is Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm. He does the 2, the 3 across the far side. I think he'll call for it very soon. Now he goes, and he gave him the slip down the fence. Now he calls to the gate, steps out now onto the dance floor here in the NG Stadium. Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm. Now they just float around and look at the horse, moves right around on the beach shoulder. Champagne Campdrafting on the first peg. They get the 2 out of 4 for the course as they do the changeover. Now he says, I'll just let the beast run on a little, and he's got a nice running beast. Look here, right on the second peg. Look here, he's going to tighten things right up. Now Metallic Storm says, just leave the footwork to me. We'll just sit back a little tiny bit. Now he comes around, he just sits. He says, now I'll get this beast over there straight towards the gate, and can they do it before the time goes? He just comes, he comes. Can they do it? Can they do it? Can they do it? It's looking good.
Sorry, mate. Oh, when you're good, you're unbelievable. When your luck's against you, it seems to play that way. Wyatt Young, I know you're going to be disappointed with that, but mate, you're a top competitor, a beautiful stallion. Great to have you here again this year.
No, Tim, it's been an unbelievable week, and he's tried his heart out all week.
There's so much luck that goes into this sport when you draw that beast out. You really just don't know what you're getting to take and play.
No, hell no, you wish we could program them like a computer.
They're certainly not computers, our Ellerston steers. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Wyatt Young.
Okay, the scores come through now for Metallic Storm and Wyatt Young of 17.5 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 80.5 points. 80.5 points for Metallic Storm, ridden by Wyatt Young. Well, we go now to the Hunter Valley with David Andrews from Rookel, the contract musterer, grazier, with Merlin Conspiracy. Moves his way towards the face of the camp and calls for the gate there now, and they're about to step out in to the arena. This time they come out. What can they do with it now? That's the right-hand course. Comes around, he's got himself a very fast one. He floats over towards the Sinclair stand. Comes around, can they just line it up? They line it up now. They come over now for the changeover, and he's got a very fast Pole Hereford steer. And he says this NG Stadium feels so good, and the Pole Hereford steer comes around. They go out there now. They come around the second peg. Merlin Conspiracy now says, just sit back a little bit, David. Let him run on a little. It'll make it easier for me. Now he feeds him a little bit more rain. Merlin Conspiracy going for the big points straight towards the gate. Can they get it? Can they get it? Let's ride with him, Sydney. Boys and girls. Christy, Tommy, Jack and Maeve. Can they? There goes the whistle. Give him a round of applause there, Sydney.
Well, we'll come back to Jim Callanan on the ground there with the score there for Dave Andrews. Our final competitor moves into the camp for the 2025 Tyrrell's Wines World Championship Campdraft. And boy, oh boy, he comes in good form. He won the competition here last night. He's from Rosebrook, just outside of Maitland. Warrick Lawrence, the gentleman of the sport, Jim, and Hunterview Royal Chick. Back to you.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Jake Smith. If there's gentlemen of camp drafting, he's definitely one of them. Hunterview Royal Chick, the property manager, been drafting for over 40 years.
Well, we'll just sort out our cattle down the back here. While we do that, Luke Bennett, currently leading the competition. You've caught your breath now. A 92 tonight, mate. You've won one night already. Must be feeling good to have that banked up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence, and you know, just hoping for Warwick. He does as good as well. Had a bit unlucky there with those steers jumping in on him, so yeah, it's tough going last. But anyway, see how he goes.
Now this little horse, they tell me he can show jump. He's ridden by the kids. He's a beautiful stallion.
Yeah, no, he can jump a little bit. He's a good all-rounder, and yeah, get to have a lot of fun with him.
The family ride him. I know they've been watching on. We keep saying camp drafting is such a good family sport. It is a lot of fun to be able to go on a draft. You guys do some massive miles sometimes in competing around the country.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a great family sport. My wife doesn't think it's a holiday going to a camp draft with a truckload of horses on a caravan, but it's a pretty good way to spend our weekends, and it's great.
Now, you alluded to before, you're the current leader in the competition, but you said, and I know it's genuine, I just really hope Warrick Lawrence can get a good run on the board. And we keep saying it, but I don't think people realise the camaraderie that you guys have. The sport was born on the back of drovers moving cattle. That tradition, that mateship has never left it.
Dead right. Yeah. We're all pulling for one another. We don't want to see anyone have a fall or get hurt, or we're all going for one another.
They certainly are. We're just going to move the last of our cattle. We must thank also tonight our two judges in the ring at the moment, Michael Hayes and Brent Smythe. Well, they moved them out, and
I'll just do this score now for David Andrews there, Tim, with Merlin Conspiracy of 18.5 for cutout, 53 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, total of 74.5 points. 74.5 points there for Merlin Conspiracy, ridden by David Andrews. So the judges have given our final competitor Warrick Lawrence with Hunterview Royal Chick the nod. Our final competitor for 2025 in the Tyrrell's World Championship Campdraft. So the competitors over the previous evenings, it's 4 points for a win, 3 for a second, 2 for a third, 1 for a fourth. Who will it be? There's Hunterview Royal Chick and Warrick Lawrence. Up the face of the camp they come. Calls for the gate. Steps out now. Onto the NG Stadium. Final round of the World Championship Campdraft. And around the first peg they come. Hunterview Royal Chick with Warrick Lawrence in the saddle. Then they tighten it up, and he's certainly going to tighten it up all right around the second peg. Now, can they get the 3 out of 4? Yes, they do, the crossover. 3 out of 4 for the course. Boys and girls, mums and dads, you better start to warm them up. Can they do it? Hunterview Royal Chick and Warrick Lawrence, Fiona, Jack and Laura and Gracie, they'll be cheering him on and riding with him. We're all going to ride with him right through the middle of the gate. Hunterview Royal Chick, ridden by Warrick Lawrence.
Well, we described him the other night as a true gentleman of the sport. I'm lucky enough to call him a good mate as well. Warrick Lawrence, mate, congratulations on another sensational Sydney Royal Easter show.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this man here bred this horse with his wife. He broke it in. He was the first one to ride it. All of his kids have ridden it as well. It really is a dream to be able to produce it, bring it down here and ride it at Sydney.
Yeah, that's right, Tim. It's just a family thing, and, you know, I've got to really thank Fiona. She does a lot of work, and I wouldn't be if it wasn't for her.
One of the luckiest men in the world. His wife is one of our best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Warrick and Fiona Lawrence from up there in the Hunter Valley.
Okay, the scores come through now for Hunterview Royal Chick, ridden by Warrick Lawrence, of 16.5 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 82.5 points. 82.5 points there for Hunterview Royal Chick, ridden by Warrick Lawrence.
Well, we'll cross back to Jim very shortly. We'll get those round winners here for this final round. Of course, we will be awarding our overall champion here tonight. And the overall champion of our World Championship Campdraft will be awarded His Royal Highness, the Duke of Gloucester Perpetual Cup, for the winner of the World Championship Campdraft. We'll also have Award of Excellence Medallion. We'll also be presenting the Vickery Family Trophy for the World Championship Campdraft. The Australian Stockhorse Society are also got a presentation, Tyrrell's Wines, and the Australian Quarter Horse Association as well. Back down to you, Jim.
Thank you, Jake. Well, we'll go on and have the presentation of round 6. And then we'll go on to the presentations of the overall winner and place getters. We'll have the presentation of round 6, our final round.
And I know we've thanked them a lot, Jimmy, but once again, a massive thank you, not only to Scott and the team, but all of the guys up there at Ellerston, to the truck drivers, the guys that feed them on a weekly basis for our beautiful cattle. You can't have camp drafting without cattle. And we do once again thank you to wonderful Ellerston for all of their work. And the boys and girls from the office here tonight, thanks for coming down. Thanks for being part of the Sydney Royal Easter Show 2025.
Well, Luke, we're doing it again. Congratulations, and a magnificent horse. And no doubt you just want to probably thank a few people for helping you get here and while you've been here.
Yeah, firstly, yeah, thanks Gretel and Roz Packer for being here tonight, and Evan and Kim Acton, they'll be watching at home at the kitchen table. Sandy and the girls, yeah, all the support I get from home. It's a great feeling. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Luke Bennett. And Malungra's Moonbeam takes out the 6th and final round of the Tyrrell's World Championship Campdraft. I think we've spoke to all the competitors through the series. We might just catch up with our only lady competitor. She's been in the lineup a few evenings. Congratulations, Kyra. What a stage to be on.
Oh, Jimmy, you've got no idea. It's fantastic. The crowd, the cattle, thank you so much to Ellerston, the sponsors, Tyrrell's. It's wonderful.
I suppose, Kyra, as soon as you go home, you'll have a big clean up and everything and pack the clothes ready for next year.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'd like to think so. But no, it's wonderful. It really is. Yep.
Thank you very much for all the entertainment and all the good times, and all the very best.
Thank you so much, Jim.
And doing the presentation now, Councillor Jamie Bell for round number 6. So now we'll move on to the overall winners and place getters and the various special prizes. So down here for the official presentation, Councillor Jamie Bell, Councillor Duncan McIntyre, our ringmaster, Councillor James Angus, Scott Mitchell representing Ellerston Pastoral Company, so it won't be too long and we'll be underway with the official presentation.
And Jim, we'll go back through the history books while we have a moment here. Of course, winners of the Duke of Gloucester Cup Perpetual Trophy, of course, awarded to the winner of the World Championship Campdraft here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Bruce Hollis, he's been a numerous time winner. Glenn Goff won the World Championship Campdraft back in 1987. Terry Hall won it in 1992. He also won it in 1996, in 1998. Troy Palmer, who you've seen compete here this evening, won it in 2004. He also won it in 2013 and 2021. Young Ben Maidham from Tamworth, he's been a past winner in 2009. And Matt Moffat from Queensland was the inaugural winner in 2023. Jim, a lot of great names there, a lot of history there, and we're about to find out whose name will be engraved in the Duke of Gloucester Cup Perpetual Trophy for 2025.
No doubt about that, Jake, about the history, and I've got a little bit of history here with me at the moment. Mr. Bruce Tyrrell, been a long-time supporter of the World Championship Campdraft with Tyrrell's Wines. Welcome, Bruce, and would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us again tonight. I think we're in advance of nearly 30 years now that we've sponsored this. My father started it with his great love of cattle, and I followed it through. So, yeah, as long as we keep making wine, we'll give the best rider a decent headache tomorrow morning.
Well, that's probably a pretty good way to do it too, Bruce. Nothing like a little headache and to know where it come from in the first place.
Yeah, and if what you're drinking is good, you won't feel nearly as bad.
I was nearly going to say that. I thought if you're drinking good wine like Tyrrell's, there'll be no headache at all. You'll wake up as good as gold the next morning.
Yeah, with a bit of luck. I'm sure there's a few people out there that can't guarantee that.
Okay, thank you very much there. The man behind the Tyrrell's Wines, Mr. Bruce Tyrrell. Okay, so we're about to go now with the presentation.
Well, as we said, folks, we'll award the Duke of Gloucester Cup Perpetual Trophy. We'll also award the TB McFarlane Perpetual Trophy here this evening, awarded for the highest score in any session conducted throughout the World Champion Campdraft competition. And Thomas Bryden McFarlane was an RAS councillor here from 1934 to 1948, RAS Vice President from 1948 to 1968, and RAS Honourable Vice President from 1968 to 1970. We've just heard from Bruce Tyrrells in the Tyrrells Wines Vineyard Perpetual Trophy, awarded for the highest aggregate cutout score throughout the World Championship Campdraft, and it was first presented in 1996. So we'll make those presentations here in front of the members' stand very shortly. And we also like to thank Miss Shelley Steger down there, who's been keeping track of all the scores, and she does all the paperwork and bookwork, Jim, and she does a very good job. So, Jim, I won't hold you up. It's back down to you.
Okay, thank you, Jake. Okay, in 6th place in the World Championship Campdraft is Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. Equal 4th place, Gerald O'Brien with O'Brien's A Gigglette, and Troy Palmer with Blue Tunes. 3rd place goes to Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm. 2nd place goes to Warrick Lawrence with Hunt of You Royal Chick. And the winner of the World Championship Campdraft for 2025, Malungra's Moonbeam, ridden by Luke Bennett. Well, Luke, you're going to be run out of answers, I suppose, but it's happened again. Unbelievable, you've got a double.
Yeah, it's just, it feels pretty good. Such a good group of competitors. To do it over 6 nights and 2 years in a row, it's a good feeling. And thanks to Tyrrells, thanks to Ellerston, it's unbelievable.
Thank you, Luke. Congratulations is about as much more as we can say, because we've talked to you a few times over the 6 rounds, but congratulations and well done. And doing the presentation, Scott Mitchell, representing the Ellerston Pastoral Company on behalf of the Packer family. Many thanks to Mrs. Packer and Gradle. Scott Mitchell doing the presentation. The cattle, once again, absolutely first class. We've had a wonderful lot of cattle, a wonderful lot of horses, magnificent lot of competitors. When the best of the best come together, there can only be one way. But it's a pity there can only be one winner. But what a competition it's been. So Luke Bennett with Malungra's Moonbeam takes it out for 2025. 2nd place goes to Warrick Lawrence with Hunt of You Royal Chick. 3rd place to Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm. 4th place to Troy Palmer with Blue Tunes. Fifth place to Jewel O'Brien with O'Brien's Gigglette, equal fifth, fourth and fifth, and Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. Okay, the move on now for the highest scoring registered Australian stock horse. And that also goes to Malunga's Moonbeam, ridden by Luke Bennett. To be presented by Robert Watches, representing the Australian Stock Horse Society. Now the highest placed Australian quarter horse goes to Metallic Storm and Wyatt Young. And to do the presentation will be Councillor Chris Eggleton to Wyatt Young and Metallic Storm. So the next award will be the TB McFarlane Perpetual Trophy. Now the highest score in any session for the TB McFarlane Perpetual Trophy. So it goes to Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. And Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm.
Sorry, that's in the wrong spot. Like Bennett, sorry, not Josh Barnett, that was in the wrong spot.
So it's Luke Bennett with Malunga's Moonbeam and Wyatt Young with Metallic Storm. So two stallions there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and what a performance they have put on over the 6 rounds. So congratulations, Luke and Wyatt, Malunga's Moonbeam and Metallic Storm.
Well, they come forward there, Jim, to receive that McFarlane Perpetual Trophy, and the honour board stands go through a few of the past winners of this event, of this trophy. 2013, Troy Palmer and his stallion Binny Impressive Destiny won it. Nigel Cable and Chevron Ivory won it in 2015 and also in 2017 and 21. Josh Barnett won it in 2023, and last year it was awarded to Matt Moffat riding She Be a Cat. Back down to you, Jim, in the presentation area.
So we'll move on now to the highest aggregate cutout score. And that'll be presented by Mr. Bruce Tyrrell from Tyrrell's Wines. And the highest aggregate cutout score over the series goes to Malungra's Moonbeam, ridden by Luke Bennett. And to do the presentation, the man behind the scenes of Tyrrell's Wines, Mr. Bruce Tyrrell.
And this particular trophy, Jim, it's a gold cast bronze Stockman and steer, presented by Mary Pinson, and was first donated back in 1986. And as you said, it is awarded for the highest aggregate cutout score throughout the World Championship Campdraft competition.
Well, there's no doubt that Luke Bennett and his lovely wife Sandy, they'll be having a Tyrrells tonight. So the presentation there by Mr. Bruce Tyrrell, and assisted there by Councillor Jamie Bell. So the winner and place getters of the World Championship Campdraft for 2025, brought to you at the compliments of Tyrrells, Luke Bennett, Malungra's Moonbeam. First, Warrick Lawrence, Hunterview Royal Chick. Second, Wyatt Young, Metallic Storm. Third, equal fourth, Troy Palmer's Blue Tunes and Gerald O'Brien with O'Brien's Gigglette. And fifth place, Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. Congratulations, competitors, to all the competitors over the series. A great series it has been. That's the way, boys and girls, mums and dads, give them a wonderful round of applause. The winner and place getters of the World Championship Campdraft, and also many thanks to our Campdraft judges, Michael Hayes and Brent Smythe. And thank you to my offsider, Tim Dreverman and Jake Smith. Thank you one and all very, very much.
Thank you very much, Jim Callanan, calling the Campdraft here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show for 24 years, and doesn't he do it superbly, boys and girls. Congratulations to our winner and place getters here this evening. Folks, as they leave the arena, it's time that we hear a song here in our NG Main Arena here tonight. It's been written by RAS member Daniel Hopwood.